Hello, everyone. Welcome back. Welcome to the new year. Happy New Year to everyone. I hope you are staying safe and staying away from that craziness that was in DC. And as you can see, BMX Health Education live streams are back in the new year. Of course, it is me, Duke. I'm joined with Kashama Sankofa and Dr. Cleo Monago. And as you can see, we have a new face that I'll let you all know about, Mr. Quayler Hopper. Say hello to the audience, Miss Hopper.
Hello, beautiful people. I'm so excited to be here.
Yes, it's so exciting. So I just want to tell you a little bit about Miss Hopper. So she was born in Shelby, North Carolina, and got her bachelor's degree in public health at East Carolina University. She moved to Baltimore in 2018 and worked at a middle school as the lead attendance mentor and services coordinator for 2 years. She enjoys being in nature and all things holistic health. Fun fact, Daquela is a hobby beekeeper in partnership with her soon-to-be mother-in-law and husband. She also considers herself plant-based, not vegan, because she's fallen in love with Merlin blue crabs since her move to Baltimore. So, Miss Hopper, given that we know that today's topic, when we get into it, is about keeping up with goals.
Right.
How is that working out for you when it comes to your love of crabs? Are you going to stay with the crabs, or are you going to move into this vegan-based diet? What's going
You
on?
know what? I'm okay with staying with the crabs. Everything is good in moderation. So I'm okay with still eating crabs in the summertime. Like it's a vibe for real.
Have you had a chance to try the crab egg rolls from Black-owned restaurant Poppy Cuisines here in Baltimore?
I have not,
Ah,
and I've never heard of them before.
it's amazing. I'll probably have to take you through to get some of that. They have really great sauces, but it's so much crab inside of this egg roll. It's actually quite ridiculous. But the reason that she joins us, our health education live stream audience, is because again, she is going to be working with our public health coordination, and going forward, Miss Hopper is actually going to be working on a really special project for all of us here at the team. She'll be leading a lead example of the Black Women's Exchange BWX platform and network going forward. And I just leave it to Dr. Cleo Monago to really introduce what that means and why we have DeQuela.
Okay, thank you, Duke. Hello, everyone. Question before I go on. Did anyone else's feed get strange there for a minute while Duke was talking, or just mine?
No, I think it was just yours.
Yeah, I didn't
Okay,
expect
good.
Yeah.
anything.
That's fine. It was just mine. That everybody heard what you said, Duke. All right. Well, as Duke mentioned, we have Dwayla Hopper, who's going to be heading up work with the Black Women's Exchange. And the Black women, she's going to talk more about what she's going to bring. She has some exciting ideas for sisters. But one of the things that I expect her to do, along with everything that she has planned, is make sure that we talk about how to mend any cracks or any division between Black men and women. We want to talk more about how to bring sisters and brothers together, how to fortify and affirm, frankly, heterosexual Black relationships, because they're under attack in the press, particularly Black on Black love. So she's going to be talking about mending the divide, affirming the connection, talking about Black women's health and gynecological issues, soulful issues, spiritual issues. I'll let her do the rest, but I just want to be here on her first divergination of her involvement in the BMX work. And again, her work will be called BWX because she's working with Black women. But for an unknown amount of time, she's going to be here with these brothers sharing the platform. And she's basically being helped and supported by Kashama and Duke, kind of like a mentor thing to get her ready for her own platform. So they just ran her up and using their skills at being online to bring her online with everybody else. So it's good to see you, DeQuela, and welcome, sister.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're very
So really
welcome.
quickly, if you want to just go over, I believe you have two programs. Just mention the scope of those programs that the audience can expect to see going forward.
All right. So, to start, I'm gonna do a womb wellness series, and within that series will be a bunch of programmatic activities like a menstruation celebration, where we'll come together and learn how to track our cycles because that's not a thing that's taught for whatever reason, and really become one with our wombs. Another program I would do is like a trivia night, a theme trivia night. So yeah, I think this will be fun.
All
And
right.
educational.
So I feel like we all had a chance to talk. Just give us a little bit of something, Kashana, what's going on new in your universe before I head into our family feedback.
I'm still fascinated with the fact that DeQuayla is a beekeeper and never told me, because I love honey. But I'm very glad to be back in this new year. I want to wish everyone out there a happy new year, because this is our first broadcast since 2020, and that's about all. Glad to be here, family.
All right. Well, I just will go over quickly some family feedback. So the last time we were with you all, we talked about the importance of trying to find alternative ways to connect during this pandemic. We know that COVID has been very taxing on individuals. And we mentioned in the last health education live stream that it's been documented that substance abuse use has increased by at least, and overdosing has increased by at least 30% over the course of this pandemic. And so we were talking about, even if you happen to be good and you feel that you are fine, it is really, really important for you to reach out to people inside of your network. You never know what someone is going through, and this is just a check-in notice. But just wrapping up from the last live stream, we had Caltaze Ransom, who said thank you for the shout out and that he loves us, and we love you too, Caltaze. We also have commentary from Javon, said that they wanted to mention that they work with the University of California in San Francisco, and they've been watching our live streams for quite some time. And they also had opportunities that they wish to engage viewers of this audience with as far as a research study. So if you go back to that particular live stream, you can also find out about how to get some compensation for participating in a research study. Moving forward, another commentary says that they're going to miss us. We miss you too. And we're back. I see that we have some new comments saying from Mr. Holmes, say welcome back. Glad to be here. We're super happy to be here. From Adrian saying Happy New Year's, everyone. Happy New Year to you. And going forward, so for health education live streams, we decided to shake things up a bit. Normally, we have a current event segment specifically inside of the health education live streams, but we're shaping that up a bit. So Adam, if you could tell them what we have next. All right. So what we decided to go forward with is, because this is health education live streams and we have an engaged audience, we've decided that it would be best to, all the recommendations that we get in our comment sections that we don't have the time to highlight at every session or every live stream, we would love to make a segment dedicated to these wonderful suggestions that people make. And so we started off with Medical Apartheid, book created in 2007 by a wonderful author by the name of Harriet A. Washington. Just really quickly, the book is divided into three parts. The first is about the cultural memory of medical experimentation. The second examines recent cases of medical abuse in research. And while the last addresses the complex relationship between racism and medicine. It examines well-known medical experimentation like the Tuskegee experiment, but she also goes into experimentation in Africa that led way into the colonization of African Americans inside this book as well. And so it's very, we thought it would be very, very important to share this topic. Also, with this being a goal-oriented live stream, it'd be really, really great because at some point we will have a book club, and we haven't decided exactly how we're going to navigate that between Black Women's Exchange and Black Men's Exchange, whether it'll be separate book clubs or a congruent one. But there will be a book club, and we would love if people can just start diving into some of these topics and suggestions. As you also saw, and I don't know if Adam has it prepared already, we have a community number. This community number means that any one of you can text this number and sign up to be part of our community, where you can get direct messaging and updates here from the health education live stream staff. Also, this community number is also used with other programs, so you will be updated every time that programs in which Dr. Cleo Manago, DeQuayla Hopper, Kashama Sankofa, and myself are involved. You can be updated. You can text this number with suggestions, commentary, things that you want to be seen during the live streams. That number is 410-826-6264. All right, so I think we're good with the housekeeping, everyone. So today's topic is gold digging. And I don't know about you all, 2020 was quite an interesting year. I wasn't upset at anything, but I definitely recognized the travesty of a year it was. But going into 2021, the idea is always, what's next? What are people going to be making part of their mission statements for themselves going into the new year? And so if any of you have any goals that you wish to share, that would be great.
You're talking to the chat, Duke, or you want me and DeQuayla?
You can shout out or
some of our goals. Yeah. Well, I'm really focusing a lot on finances this year, which I'm sure we all focus on finances every year because we have bills, but I'm focusing more on investing and growing because there's a lot of wealth being transferred in 2021, as well as continuing on my health journey. I would like to think that 2020 kind of set me back a little bit. Being stuck in the house, I tended to, eat some things that I try to normally stay away from. Ate a little bit more cheese than normal. These holidays came around in the deep South with my family. I pinched off a little piece of pork. Yeah, I know. I'm just laying it all out, DeQuayla. This is I'm today,
you said pork?
Yeah. I tasted a piece of that honey baked ham. Okay. So I think more of just getting back consistent to a place of consistency where I was before 2020, as well as, like I said, finances and investing, looking for more opportunities and looking how I can take advantage of a lot of the volatility that's in this economy right now.
All right. Before one of you go, we also have a Hakeem Sharp, and I believe this is a new name. They said that they're trying to get into graduate school. Shout out and vibe and energy for that. And they said with a focus on music theory and composition. I'm very excited about that. It's important for more Black people to be inside of the structural parts of music. Indeed. Any goals that either you two would like to share for this year before we get into the topic?
Yes. So I want to focus more on my health. Like Kashama said, 2020 kind of set me back a little bit. But I'm trying to get back into yoga, back into going on hikes and eating healthy. And I'm actually going to do a Sacred Woman journey. If you've ever heard of the book Sacred Woman by Queen Afua, it's basically like a journey to womanly enlightenment. And so I'll be starting that on my birthday. So I'm excited for that.
Okay.
How about you, Dr. Manago? We know that retirement is the number one goal, but what's something else that you want to accomplish this year?
I don't have any particular goals this year, except to keep my mental health, to not allow myself to finally get to the point of, let me put it like this, and you all will find out about this one day. When you get older, I used to see grumpy old men and go, "Why are you a grumpy old man?" I get it now. I get grumpy old man syndrome. Particularly when you are so-called conscious old man, and it's difficult not to cuss out ignorant people, which should be a nonstop routine of cussing. So I'm going to watch myself and remain a peaceful, calm spirit, and not let myself go into full-fledged grumpy. Because I'll close with this in terms of contextualizing my speech or whatever. Everybody's acting like racism just happened, and that Trump is doing some new stuff. He's doing some new things with some old stuff. Like they have never done the White House like this before, but it ain't nothing new. And white people have been acting crazy and having an issue with manifest destiny psychopathology all of my life. and it was getting on my nerves. People acting like, "Oh my God, did you see what they're doing?" And these are people who watch TV every day, which is one of the most racist vehicles in this country. TV is racist. Try to find a black love story on TV. You can't hardly. You could find one or two, but that's racism before Trump. So
we just got blessed with Sylvie's Love, thankfully. Thank
yeah,
God.
yeah. I wish there was a little more dark-skinned people in it, but it was a good love story.
I'm looking forward to seeing that. Actually, I haven't seen it yet.
Yeah, it's gotten rave reviews. In fact, I saw one article that said that years of traumatic Black love stories did not prepare them for the normalcy of Sylvie's Love, and so that was a really impactful headline. I didn't even get to read the article, but just that headline stuck out to me. So for me, myself, I am focused on a little bit of weight loss because the pandemic definitely caught up with me in ways that I was not expecting. I just haven't been out there. I haven't been able to move, y'all. So things have picked up in places that I don't want to be picked up. That's a pretty top tier goal, and also just diving more into my talents. I have a lot of projects lined up for this year, so I just want to start knocking some of those things down in my personal life, and so you will probably see some of them going forward. The importance of today, though, with goal digging, creating behaviors for success is I have found year after year, and not only with myself, but with friend circles, associates, individuals will come up with these grandiose plans in order to change their life with this idea that January 1st of whatever year will change them. And so I had to, and all of us have to extent worked with clients when it comes to mental health, behavioral health of some sort, us being member service navigators, Dr. Manago also being a licensed therapist. These kinds of things pop up where individuals will create these grandiose plans and have no idea how to accomplish them. And the moment that they fail, because failure happens, they become halted and stunted in their growth and they do not move forward. And so I wanted to come today with some suggestions and some ideas on how you can reverse that particular behavior and move forward from wherever you happen to stunt and stop from. I had a friend who was going through a lot of things one year, and they just kept talking about how January 1st, January 1st, January 1st. And much like the year 2020 into 2021, the day does not change the energy or the vibe or the universe that you've been navigating with up until that point, right? And what I said to them, I said, if tomorrow doesn't change you, then neither will January 1st, right? Because you have to have that intentionality. And we talk about this before the holiday season, about having that self-determination to really make some things happen. And so as a member service navigator, some situations that I've ran into is we are informed in our training that if we are helping a client, for instance, be in recovery from a particular substance abuser, be in recovery. If they happen to relapse and happen to use that particular substance when they were supposed to be in recovery, the number one thing for an accountability partner, as well as for that individual, is to separate themselves from shame. And the science behind this is that if you have attached shame to your behavior, then you are now attached to that behavior. It's now your crutch. You cannot move forward because you're consistently thinking about how you messed up, and you are not allowed the peace and to grow or the encouragement to grow because everyone is attaching you to shame. And so you say, well, if people keep saying this about me, then it must be true. And so therefore, you start to believe these negative spaces and vibes about you. Is there any any situations or circumstances where you all have witnessed that?
Yeah, all the time, especially in substance abuse. People, when a setback oftentimes is looked at as you said failure, but sometimes setbacks are looked at as failures as opposed to setbacks. I've had the privilege of having to be disciplined in music for years and years and years growing up. That's why I started jumping when the brother said he was getting his degree in music theory. Is because when they sit you at an instrument that you've never played and all you can do is just read music, you have to train your fingers first, and you're going to keep messing up until you can get faster and faster, the proficiency. So that's one thing I know that we can take to our lives, understanding that a mess up is a setback, not necessarily a failure all the time. And even when you do have failures, many times it's a lesson learned. You have to keep back at something.
Mm-hmm. So I remember seeing a particular video. I wish I had actually was able to bring this up for Adam, but there's a video, and I'm gonna make sure if you join our community app, you can get access to this video. But they talked about the circle of depression when it comes to getting into new goals or new projects. Is that individuals often start off saying that I want to get into this, and then the next step is that they realize that there's a bunch of challenges in order to accomplish this goal, and so they get stuck in a funk, and they're like, well, maybe I can't do this, because now they realize they have to work for it. And what they were, the particular presenter was stating in this example is that every time people get stuck in this particular moment, that is when their entire life trajectory is in a loop, because they'll wind up finding a new project to get attached to, realize there's challenges with that, and then fall into the funk of knowing that they have to work harder than they thought they did, because they had this ignorant, what he called a ignorant excitement about a new project or goal. And so this is, the project now is about being, I'm not sure what bel canto means, or if that was the name of the presenter. I'm not sure about that. However, what we are talking about is moving from ignorant excitement about a project into informed excitement about a project, about really researching and knowing what you're diving into and getting into, and knowing the challenges ahead of time and embracing them, right? When it comes to any type of goal, whether you create one on January 1st or one today, something that I found really, really empowering is I used to go to an open mic, and the host would say, "Are you having a bad day?" And some people was like, "Yeah, like today was rough. They had a hard work day, and they came to open mic, get some drinks, and just try to have fun." And they said, "Well, the day ain't over, and you can reset your day right now, because everyone who has played a part in the negative vibe or experience of your day does not control your life. Only you can control this moment. You can reset this day at this time. If you just woke up at 9 p.m., that's the start of your 24 hours, right? And so you can maneuver in this space." What do y'all think about terminology like that? Do y'all think it can help with any clients that you all will work with?
Well, while they're thinking about it, bel canto means nice singer in Italian. I don't know why Omar telling y'all to sing nicely, but that's what bel canto means.
Oh, okay. Bel canto.
Yeah, one of them was talking about being an opera singer on the subject of music. But I think that, well, I was gonna. What was your question again, Duke? I wanted to give DeQuayla a chance to jump in, because I know she probably has some experience around programmatic work.
Mm-hmm. I was wondering, just in general, like what tactics or things that you find useful in changing the trajectory of someone's behaviors when it comes to accomplishing a goal? Like, how do you help to create behaviors for success in either your own personal life or when it comes to helping a client?
Right. So first of all, we have to figure out what our true values are. What do we want to see in ourselves in the future? And then work from there. Even if it's just for 2 minutes a day. Say you have a craving for whatever drug that you're addicted to. If you can go into your body for just 2 minutes and say, "No, let me just wait. 2 minutes, 120 seconds. I can do this." That's harm reduction. And that's a step towards that person that you want to be. So just starting small is really where you should begin.
I really like that, because that's definitely something, especially when it comes to, this is one for food with me, right? Like, I actually just posted about this. Y'all probably laugh. I said, this is me eating healthy. I'll order some salmon, some broccoli, and greens, and then a sweet potato pound cake on the side. But but I like what you just said about the 2 minutes, like that 2-minute pause and reflection, because oftentimes if we just give our space an opportunity to have patience and wait a little bit about our decision, we will have the influence and the goal to make the proper decision. It's always these I'm missing the word at the moment, but these impulse type buys that we have when it comes to certain things. So I really, really love that you said that. Mr. Williams said that's a fact. In addition,
I like that as well, though. I just wanted to add something to that, because when you mentioned determining what your values are, I think that's very, very, very important for people to do. First, determine what your values are and what you want, what is important to you. You know, I mean, that takes sometimes a little digging inside of yourselves, because sometimes we don't even know who we are, as opposed to who we've been told we are, or who we
should be
concluded that we are. The second thing I would say, not countering that, but to help supplement that, is to know your obstacles too, because a lot of times we don't really look at our obstacles for what they really are, and we will inflate them. Or sometimes we will create obstacles based off of past traumatic experiences. So I try to always do family, friends, whomever come to me with a problem, you know, when they start just going on and on and on and on, I definitely will stop and say, okay, wait. So what's exactly stopping, you know, such and such and such, as opposed to what you think, or what might happen, or if you do this could happen, or they're probably gonna say this to me, or they're probably gonna say that if I try this. Hey, look, let's look at the real. All you can deal with is the real. So I'm glad that you did mention that, you know, determining certain things, analyzing certain things before we can even create certain behaviors. We got to be able to actually come to a conclusion of what we need.
Do either of you journal?
I don't. I
Done it
used
in the
to.
past, not anymore.
Yeah, same.
Duke, please help an old brother out and repeat your question.
Do either of you journal?
No, the one that Daquela and Kashama.
Oh, sure. What behaviors in your personal?
I understood that one. You just said that. Anyway, go on.
No judgments. I just want to be compliant. But no, I was saying, what tactics have you incorporated in either your personal life or when you are working with a client in order to create a behavior pattern for success?
Well, I believe that people become more clear the more they unpack what's in the way, or the more they become clear about what's in the way. But the first thing I do, because I'm very analytical, is I'll ask somebody, well, what do you value? You know, what do you value? And sometimes they go into what I call disorienting dilemma, because if they're struggling, for example, with substance abuse, or with sexual addiction, or with self-hate, they will say, well, if it's a drug, I value crack. You know, or if it's alcohol, I value alcohol. And I'll ask them, do you value alcohol, or do you value what the alcohol helps you not to remember? You value not remembering. Which one is it? And I can go on and on for a while, because this is part of what the kind of work I do. But what I'm starting to do, I ask them by asking them, what are they not dealing with, and what is the alcohol and crack making them not have to deal with? Then they do some, you know, that internal work. And what some people often find, depending on the person, is that what's haunting them is based on them having given credibility to some people who were more powerful than them at a certain part of their lives, who they would think about it now did not deserve that kind of credibility. And then they started reflecting on who was it that made them feel bad about being Black, about being a same-gender loving person, about being a woman or whatever. And they learn to realize that when they think about it, that they're carrying, it's almost like when you're in a relationship with somebody and you claim you've broken up with them, but you keep on talking to everybody about what they did to you, which gets in the way of you having a new relationship, because you keep getting in their face with what happened in the past. Well, the bottom line is that people do a lot of stuff from an unconscious basis, based on pain, based on unresolved issues, and based on sources that were once bigger and stronger than them that they've outgrown physically, but not emotionally. And I help them to learn to kind of track those things, among other things. But that's kind of a relatively simple way of breaking it down. Because some people never even think about what they value because they're too busy being under anesthesia. And anesthesia is, sexual addiction, drug addiction, alcohol addiction. And that's what they think they value. Or what's that pound cake that you had?
I didn't have it. To be fair, it wasn't delivered, so I had to get a refund on it. But it was a sweet potato pound cake.
That was Jesus Christ working in your life.
Right.
Yeah, sweet potato pound cake. So I actually did not get it. It was a sad moment. But but I do feel like the universe was looking out for me in that moment. It was like, you ain't needed that. You felt bad when you ordered it. But the question I had asked just before that, and thank you, Dr. Manago, was about do any of you journal? And I really, because the answers that you all gave, and this is especially important for anyone looking to accomplish any new task, what I have found extremely useful is journaling to a degree in some extent, right? So everything that you just mentioned about finding out your values, your purpose, and what hinders you, oftentimes we can articulate this. We have it in our minds. It's in the back of our head, sometimes subconsciously, and sometimes it is at the forefront of us consciously. But I have found for myself and with clients, when you journal this and put it in some type of physical format, as far as a paper or if you're typing it on a computer, when you are confronted with your values and your obstacles, you have a much more clear vision on how to operate in your values and avoid your obstacles, right? And so this is something I found super important. I stumbled upon this by mistake because Facebook has the on this day notification and feature, right? And so what I had found was over the last 4 to 5 years, I was kind of getting in the same mood around the same month cycle every year after year after year. And I didn't have an understanding about this, but I just saw back. I was like, wow, I was talking about this on this day 2 years ago. Like, and it was happening over and over again, right? And so once I had consolidated those particular posts and look at the journal, I was able to look at my life and be like, this happened because of, in this particular year, something didn't go through, and I have not dealt with it. And so every year after that, I will reflect on that moment subconsciously, and it was hindering me from accomplishing my new task and goals. So once I addressed that, it was just like fireworks. We were going. We are very familiar, and this stays true, is that people want to avoid the time cycle or the process that it takes to do a lot of this work. And there is no skipping the time investment when it comes to accomplishing a new task or figuring out a new behavior or goal. The cycle stays true that it takes 21 days of consecutive behaviors, of a consecutive behavioral change in order for it to become part of your routine. Right? So if you are deciding to accomplish something, you need to be doing this 21 days consecutively in order to make it a part of your routine to say that this is now who I am, right? And so when we're talking about goal digging, creating behaviors for success, it is about investing in new behaviors. It's about investing in yourself, doing things that you would think, I don't need to do that, but you probably do at these moments, right? And so this is something that I would bring forth to the audience. We have Omar Sankofa, who was agreeing with Dr. Manago, was talking about the self-perpetuating cycle. A. Williams stating that it was also self-sabotage. A. Williams mentioned it is so institutional that it's in our body, which is our constitutional institution. So it's very important for us to look at that. I think what's also in something that is definitely outside of just your general figuring out your goal digging is recognizing the particular climate that we are in 2021, what's going on in the world, not only with the pandemic, but with the White House and the Capitol building. But oftentimes these particular climates, especially for us as African Americans, impede our ability to self-conceptualize and think of ourselves as better or deserving better futures, because we're so caught up in the disasters of the world. And so this is definitely a moment that I would like to take time for people to, again, recognize that we have had live streams on various topics going back, and we're going to be bringing you some new ones going forward in the new year. But something else that I had just found out from a training that I had this week, and thank you, Adam. He just posted a link if you want to come in and talk with us about any of your goals or some behavior changes or any assistance or help or guidance. We have some experts here that can give you some feedback on how to accomplish some of these goals. But I'm losing some of my thought doing that link. But I mentioned that we have various different topics that we accomplished over the course of the last year. We got new ones coming up. Something I learned this week in the training is, did y'all know that when it comes to people, because we did a live stream on U equals U, which is becoming undetectable means that you're untransmittable when it comes to the HIV virus. Did you all know that individuals who are taking their daily regimen completely adherent to their particular regimen, if they are someone who is suffering from diabetes or has a high glucose level, that can impact the viral load of the antibodies in their system, so it can look like they're not taking their medicine. And so that was a new development that happened in the training I had this week. And so it really had me thinking about how consistently, when we're looking at African Americans and the things that we are facing as a community when it comes to health, that even when we're dealing with HIV in the way that we're supposed to, because we are so we have not changed our diets, and we're kind of preconditioned to have this diabetes issue that is also impacting our ability to recover from the HIV epidemic. Did y'all know about that? Did y'all hear about that?
No, I didn't know.
Yeah, so it happened. It blew my mind. And so it was a sister who talked about her journey to becoming undetectable and how she was undetectable for over 30 years. But she started to drink a lot more during this pandemic. And so her doctors called her up like, hey, are you still taking your medicine? And so that, like, because it was this whole new thing. And so she had to have a moment and reflect, and they determined that your sugar blood glucose level definitely impacts your ability to remain undetectable. So that's just something else for us to consider going forward. Again, if you want to join the conversation, that link is now live. A reminder that if you want to join our community or send feedback, and we may be able to do commentary from here, that number is 410. Sorry, I'm waiting for it to scroll. It's so slow. 826-6264. Omar mentioned that fasting insulin resistance is perhaps the number one detriment to the immune system. Shout out to that. Adam McMahon said, what are some community goals that we should have? Do y'all want to tackle that?
Well, before you guys start tackling that, I must go. I have a West Coast appointment, but I wanted to just say hi and be here for a minute. But I hope to hear more from DeQuayla tonight. I know that mind of hers is brilliant and full of thoughts, so please defer to her at more opportunities so we can hear from the sister, even though she's probably being shy because it's the first night. But come on, sister.
You know what? This will probably be a great opportunity because Adam mentioning community goals. DeQuayla, why should more black people get into beekeeping?
Oh my goodness. Oh, it's such a rush when you get stung, honestly. Like it makes you feel alive. And I know that sounds weird. Mm-hmm. It's weird, but that's okay. Because I'm weird. It reminds you that it's a lot out there and we don't know anything. Like we don't know anything, but we can learn a lot from animals, and especially honeybees. They make honey from pollen. Like, what? That's insane to me. So, yeah.
So you're really engaged in like just the natural process of cultivation and health and how the animal kingdom works, which is touching. What are some community goals that you think that we could be embracing, Kashama?
Health and economics. And when I know that's not very specific, but that needs to be, our focus as a community. Whatever our efforts are, something like beekeeping helps to cover both, because not only is beekeeping a business, it's a money venture, honey, but also honey can be used for about 4 or 5 different purposes off the top of my head right now. It's antibacterial. You can put it on wounds. In fact, I treated my father's wounds with a natural honey product that's actually made and used by hospitals and clinics and stuff.
I forgot that you could use honey for medicinal purposes.
You absolutely can.
Like literally on the wound. I'm aware of intaking it. I forgot that it is useful in that way.
Right. It actually preserves things as well. It can be used as a preservative. So that's like, I just wanted to talk on that. But economics and health, if you are not like getting with 2 or 3 at least of the Black people talking about how to improve your collective economic situation, as well as sharing how we can improve our collective health, then I don't know what we're doing, honestly. Those are the 2 major focuses that we really, really, really need to have as a people.
And so to that end, if you join our community app, this is another promotion, but I'm gonna keep talking to it blue in the face, is because we have programs and projects coming up that I'm not at liberty to talk about in depth at this moment, but financial awareness and development is absolutely a part of it. Laquela Hopper, moving forward as a member service navigator, will also be able to connect people once you join our community app with different services to help you accomplish lots of these different goals and tasks that people are looking to accomplish in this year, whether it be around health and or finances and various different other avenues for assistance. And so, Laquela, if you I don't know if you're and if you're not, it's okay. But are you able to speak a little bit about some of the services or things that you're able to help people accomplish?
Yeah, so pretty much just any goals that you all have, I'm here to help you navigate and figure out the best way for you personally to achieve those goals. Whether that's getting a job, going back to school, going to school for the first time, really any goals that you might have, I'm here to help.
All right. And so she'll be working with a team with that endeavor, but we're super excited to have a functional live in-service member service navigator. I used to do the role, a lot of it, but it's definitely a necessity for our community. I don't see anyone joining our particular chat. And so just a heads up, if we don't have anyone come in within like the next 3 to 4 minutes, we're going to be preparing to wrap up for this particular live stream.
In those 3-4 minutes, dude, I just want to share a tool that I think helps. It's a very general tool that helps in whatever your goals are, and it is consistency. Now, that, and I'll give you an example. I started reading a book called The 12 Steps to Enlightenment, right? And it's like a 300. It's a 12-month journey to enlightenment, right? Spiritual enlightenment. And the book starts out for, I guess, like the first chapter, teaching you a greeting to the sun at morning, at noon, in the evening, and at night, right? And after reading this, for about a month of doing this, it dawned on me, this book is not necessarily to teach you enlightenment, but to give you the tools to seek enlightenment, teaching you self-awareness, teaching you consistency. You know what I'm saying? So even when it comes to saving money, right? Yeah, you want to get your 401k IRA, whatever it is. You want to get your, I'm into crypto these days. Woo! But one thing I noticed that gets you in the mindset of saving money, and every time I've done this, I've always been able to save money. Come home and take the change out of my pants, out of my pockets, and have a special jar or bucket to put it into, and just fill it up. That's not what you're saving, right? That is creating that in your mind, that consistency, that habit in your mind of being, of saving money in different types of ways. When it comes to your health, if you tell yourself, this is something that I've done for years now, right? Getting up in the morning, drinking water, right? And some people will say, you know, you should eat fruit in the morning. Some people say fast in the mornings, blah, blah. I usually fast in the mornings until about noon or 1 p.m. And that's been a habit of mine now. So it's like now being healthy is not so difficult for me because I'm in the habit of constantly thinking about my health and being intentional with it. So, you know what I'm saying? I'm doing the thing with the money jar again, putting my quarters up, creating that mechanism inside of me, that click to get me into that mindset. So I wanted to share that tool with you all.
Williams is asking, what's the number? We're not online tonight. In the comment section, if you scroll, you should be able to see if you scroll up, Williams, we did drop the live stream link if you would like to join in with us. You mentioned the money, and there's this saying that I don't know who came up with this saying, but it has been a lifesaver in many different situations for me. When it comes to saving money, if you're at a store and something is normally $100 and you catch it for 40% off when you purchase it, it is important for you to know that you did not save $40. You spent $60, right? And so like that rephrasing or that reimagining of that context of how you are using and manipulating your money has definitely been a lifesaver for me because I'm like, oh, it's real. It's like at this moment, I'm like, but you're still spending money, right? And you're losing more than you are taking in. And so it's always important to recognize that going through your day to day. And this is not about, you know, being so frugal that you can't treat yourself to anything. It's just making conscious decisions with your money. And so that's something important. I want to, if Williams isn't able to join with us in a second, I want to reiterate some things that we mentioned earlier tonight. So one of the first things is that you need to detach yourself from shame. If you fall back or set back in any kind of way when it comes to a new goal or accomplishing a goal, it does you absolutely no service. To attach yourself to that moment or to blame yourself for that moment, you have to let it go. You have to move forward. But we're here with Mr. Williams. Welcome in. Good to see you.
Can you hear me?
Yep.
Yes.
Good. I love the show. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Happy another trip around the sun. I totally agree with Sankofa. I think historically most cultures unfortunately do well in pandemic-like behaviors and pandemic-like cultures. And so, you know, I heard Roland Martin say, I'm not Roland Martin, Boyce Watkins. It's not our fight. This whole DC Wednesday, it's unfortunately never our quote-unquote fight, but we're somehow always used as leverage to be on the sides, to get the votes, to, you know, go out, blah, blah, census numbers, and so it's unfortunate. But in the same breath, I think this is a pretty opportune time for collective efforts, group economics, you know, burying some hatchets, saying some prayers, and really conforming to the idea of, wow, if other cultures are able to excel, what the hell are we doing that they're not doing? Or what the hell are they doing that we're not doing? You know, and so it's a matter of like I said, joining forces. If nothing else, the destruction needs to stop. I don't think people realize the magnitude of Wednesday, the fact that people literally defamed or defaced what the world sees as democracy, you know, and nothing was done. I mean, unfortunately, a young lady lost her life, but, you know, it's like, and I don't, you know, slaps on the wrist, things of that nature, but nothing was done. What I said in the chat earlier was that I think people are getting used to the fact that at the end of the day, this is every day in America. This is every day. And so people of color, but just people in general, there are people who have to observe this and not say nothing. There are people who have to live through this, which I believe is very, very deep trauma. I think it's very, very deep destruction to the spirit, as Dr. Monago said, you know, trying to keep his peace. It's real. You know, I'm a teacher, you know, and I love teaching. I love teaching children that look like me, quite frankly. But the reality is, how do I say to them, turn the other cheek? You know, I tell my students very clearly, you know, as we deal with this, as we travel this journey, it's going to be hard. So, you know, I find myself rambling, so forgive me. So,
Thank you so much,
Williams. To that end, I would just say I was lucky enough to have a teacher that was not he was a social studies teacher back when I was in 6th grade, and he was not intent on following that curriculum at all. He would absolutely break away from that curriculum and say, "Look, this is what happened." And because I have done some teaching myself in the public school system, and I really thank him for that moment, because it has allowed me the courage to break away when I find it necessary, because it is already proven, even in their education systems, and they've already done their studies about it. They just haven't decided to do anything about it. That African American students usually do more consistently learn differently than the education system that they have structured, right? And so it's just something for us to really be intentional about when we are going into these spaces, that we have to do it our own way. And so that's just something I would offer.
I planned my lessons at least a month to 2 months ahead, and this week, ironically, I plan to study Concrete Rose by Tupac Shakur and Nikki Giovanni. And so how timely was that lesson, right? Because children, they really had to kind of get to, that was 80s, 90s, but we're still talking about the same themes. We're still talking about the same topics. And the children were like, how does a rose grow from concrete? Let's just stop. How does a single mother get along? How do people, how do people that don't know a language, how do people that were robbed from their homeland get along? You know what I'm saying? Like really, like let it's not literal. Let's think outside the box. So yeah, very, very real.
Thank you for your contribution.
Go ahead, dude.
No, I was just saying thank you. Did you have something to say? I wanted to say thank you for your contribution, Mr. Williams, because we're running up on our hour.
Not a problem. Thank you.
Thank you. I also support Holmes' comment. They said, "Nah, no turning of the cheek, nope." And so that's, I would definitely highlight that for a moment. But it all depends. I know everyone has different ways that they have to navigate these particular systems, and I would definitely encourage, if you see the space to instill a spirit of resistance, a spirit of education and informing, do that, because it serves us no purpose to go with the status quo in a lot of these situations.
I just wanted to point out, though, real quick, because we're talking about behaviors for success. And so we also do need to make sure that we distinguish the difference between what it means to be successful and what it means to fit the image of success. Because going along with the status quo will surely have you looking successful. Like Daniel Cameron looks successful, you know what I'm saying, on paper and everything. But knowing what we know, right, as a Black man, he has to be a ball of walking contradictions, right? He has to be dealing with some issues, some inner turmoil, some internalized depression, right? So that's not the picture of success to us. That's not real success. We know better. So there is a level of detachment. There is a level of autonomy and self-determination that one must take on. That is a success creating behavior. Understanding that, the mainstream's view of you does not determine you, does not define you.
Hello, Maurice. It's good to see you. I also want to shout out the various different side conversations that were happening in our comment section today. It looks really, really great. Omar also mentioned for IV, Let's Talk. And so I am just hoping and promoting for more collaborative works in various different forms happening in 2021 between us. It is very important that we do that. Going forward, just really quickly, we have a ad from the Center for Disease Control. If Adam could just post it up real quickly before we get ready to close out. So this is the I'm Doing It campaign, testing for HIV. Jay Ellis mentioned that we need to throw away the stigma and fear about HIV testing. It's time we make HIV testing a part of our health routine. I actually want to take the moment to shout out to Baltimore in general, all the different leaders that have been working in the HIV field when it comes to Baltimore. And we know that there's various different reasons for this particular drop, but the reality is that there is a drop, and so we can make note of it. At one point in time, Baltimore was like number 3 in the list across the nation for for the highest amount of HIV transmissions, we have dropped to number 19. So we are no longer in the top 10. And so the hope and prayer is that it stays that way. And it continues to decline as it does for the rest of the country going forward, as we start to do more and more work around that particular issue in our community. Again, just found out this week that our preconditioning for diabetes increases our risk of not being able to control this particular disease. So it's a multifaceted, multi-layered issue when it comes to us. Again, our oh, okay, you ran that campaign for 1 year. Congrats. Going forward, I hate losing my thought. I would say that please communicate with us, stay in contact. I know what I was going to say. Stay in contact with us in our community app. Again, our take-home assignment for the week, if you will, is Medical Apartheid by Miss Washington. It's a really, really great book for us to become more informed about exactly what is it that the medical industry has done over the course of generations to the Black community. And so we can all have more informed dialogue about that particular subject. But with that being said, I am getting ready to sign off. Before we do our closing statements, please know that the ad will play for the next health education live stream right after this, so stay tuned to that. My name is Duke. I am a coordinated health educator for Black Men's Exchange National. It's been great talking to you all. First time in the new year. It's great to be here. And Omar said that it was a heavy read. It took them months to finish. I know that's why we started off at the beginning of the year, so that way by the middle to the end of it, we can actually talk about it. That would be gold. That's me, DeQuila.
I'm DeQuila Hopper, Member Services Navigator with Black Men's Exchange. I hope you guys have an awesome new year and achieve all your goals. And remember to move towards your goals instead of moving against something, because anything that you move against is just going to keep like being magnetized to you. So stay positive, stay lifted, and stay light.
Yeah. And just to add to her real quick, future coordinator for Black Women's Exchange, BWX National, is going to be the goal going forward. Kashama, if you could close us out. And again, after Kashama, we will be showing our ad for the next health education live stream.
All right, family. As always, it has been a pleasure broadcasting to you, and we would like for everyone to stay safe. Stay positive, stay full of love, and go ahead and create those behaviors for success. Peace out.
Peace out.